Welcome to the TTIEPOD, where we are always doing events, it looks like it these days. But right now we are the Angola Means Business Part 2. I'll say Part 2, the second edition. And we are at TD Hotels. Actually, we are at Tropical Hotel in Luanda. And as usual, we're getting guests to sit with us and have a conversation about what they're doing in Angola, Africa, and beyond. And as you know, at TTIEPOD, we don't introduce our guests. We get them to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit more about who they are and what they're doing. And I do have a question at the end about, I'll tell you when we get there. Anyway, so let's go over to our guest. Welcome.
Thank you, Kamal.
Who are you and what do you do?
Oh gosh, that question. I guess I'll give you the long thing.
Okay.
Luzana,
Name?
My name's Luzana Costa.
Okay.
I am the GP for the Norrsken Africa Seed Fund.
Okay.
Before that, I lived another life in oil and gas.
Oh.
I'm a geologist by background. I have a master's on something that nobody cares about, groundwater hydrogeology engineering.
Okay. Oh, wow. I didn't know that bit.
I did that for the better part of a decade.
Oh, wow.
And as the story goes, I quit because I wanted to move to London, join the UN, become Secretary General, save the world, and then retire at my parents' beach house in Musulu. But obviously that's not what happened. I ended up joining private markets and private capital, VC startup ecosystems, and here we are today. I hope that was a good intro.
Into a different world.
I hope that was a good intro.
That was a good intro. That was a good intro. So when you say seed investment,
Yes.
what does that mean for a country like Angola?
So full disclosure,
Okay.
my fund has yet to invest in Angola. I have invested personally in startups in Angola,
Oh, okay.
but my fund has not. I'm not gonna name drop.
Okay, no.
But my fund has not.
Okay.
The Angola ecosystem is nascent, but you have some amazing people already like catching the eye of international investors across the continent and the globe. In my world, what a seed investment means and what we do is a company that is valuing themselves under $10 million, between let's say $5 and $10 million.
Okay.
They have some sort of revenue going. What we like to see is around 20 to 25K in MRR, so monthly recurring revenue. Our typical check sizes for our fund is around like starting at 250, we can go up to $500,000 with our follow-on. So in sum, seed stage company for us is a company that is still quote unquote cheap enough for us to come in and be a meaningful partner. It's a company that has found its footing in the way that most people know about product market fit. So they kind of know who their customer is, and so they're having some revenue come in. We are in Africa, so we are not believers in raise, burn, grow. We want to see steady consistency. We want to see solid paths to profitability.
Okay. I like that. I like that. So what has happened, I think, in the past few weeks? I've had conversations with some people.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with an amazing young lady, and she said something to me which has stuck with me for the past few weeks. And I'm taking that and using that to ask questions.
Okay.
She said, if you're not making an impact, it's not worth it. What does that mean to you personally?
Okay. I will take it a little bit broader.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know the Norrsken story.
Yeah.
So Norrsken as a whole started as the Norrsken Foundation.
Okay.
It was a foundation started by Nicholas Adelbert, who was one of the co-founders of Klarna.
Okay.
The buy now, pay later decacorn of Europe. He basically decided that I've amassed all of this wealth and I know what entrepreneurship did for me. So I want to basically pay it forward. So he took part of his own personal wealth and started this foundation that was meant to support impact entrepreneurship. Norrsken has houses in Kigali, and by houses we mean places where we house entrepreneurs that are building for impact, and we put them together with some of the biggest companies in the world in the same space, so sort of they can coexist. So we have a Norrsken house in Kigali in Rwanda, one in Stockholm, which was the original one, massive one in Barcelona. The Kigali one is the best one. Tell everybody. under the Norrsken umbrella, you have a bunch of funds because the foundation itself is a nonprofit.
Okay.
And so the funds, the various funds, exist to go out in the world, fund those impact on entrepreneurs,
Okay.
and sort of keep the wheels turning. So, as we know, in impact in Africa and in Europe, and hopefully I'm not saying anything bad. Impact in Africa looks different than impact in Europe.
Yeah.
So for the thesis that we believe in and the thesis that we've constructed around the Norrsken Africa Seed Fund, which is very personal to myself and my co-GP, we want to, our impact is in job creation, our impact is on things that make the continent move. I'll give you an example. I angeled a company, I guess I can say its name. Angeled a company called Matta, and the founder, who has become a really close friend, his vision was industry in Africa. Like, why aren't we building more? Why are we making more in the continent with the resources that we have?
Yeah.
So he basically built a whole ecosystem it's basically started as a discovery platform for raw materials and commodities for small industry in Africa. The stuff that you use to make paper, to make pencils, like all of these things. It has grown into a behemoth of a company, but externally you won't look at a company like Matta as having impact because it's not sort of, cataloging exactly how many women have done this and have done that, and that to me is impact for the continent and what exists in the continent. I'll give you another example of a company in our portfolio, a company called Djamo, which is a challenger bank in Francophone Africa. So most challenger banks that we know are Nubank and Revolut now, which like I work for in London, I work for the fund that was the first investor of Revolut. So that business model, I understand. So
let's stop it there.
Yeah.
It's interesting about Revolut. I remember when Revolut started, they were there's a platform in UK, and I looked at them, I was like, do you know what? Nah. And I regret that.
And you know what? The first few days, like first years of Revolut, you had the CEO answering customer calls.
Wow.
Like literally started from scratch and went up there. So we have a similar investment in Francophone Africa called Djamo. So they're a challenger bank. And again, at first sight, you're thinking challenger bank, it's a bank, etc. But how many women that were unbanked were able to now, move money across and do all these different things. So it's impact, to sort of loop back into your question, impact for me personally is seeing movement in the continent, seeing growth in the continent. It's not measured by, statistics of how many children this, how many women this, and that part is still important.
That's important, yeah.
That is important, but it's about seeing things happen within the continent. I happen to travel a lot in Africa. It's not something that I used to do. When I was younger, my travels were in North America, South America, Europe, etc. And now I can hop on a plane, get to Kigali, be at the Norrsken House, hop on a plane, be back in Angola. We're chatting about, I was in Lagos last week. It was a skip and a hop. And this place is buzzing. And so that's the impact I want to see. More of that, like cities growing, people being interested in what's happening here.
Africa is the place to be.
Africa is the place to be.
It's the continent to be. And then you said something about impact, and all the things you said is like, yes, you've got the stats that is okay, how many number, this, but, and I think that's what draws me to Africa and why I do everything in Africa is because you can see the impact that is happening in front of you. It's not a case of, you wait for a report to be written and blah, blah. No.
It's in your face.
It's in your face. You see that impact. And it's great to hear what you're doing. And I'm going to ask you one more question.
Yes.
Q2 is here. Q1 has come and gone.
Wait, say that again?
Q2 is here.
Okay.
We passed Q1. First 3 months is done. Now we're in Q2.
Okay.
What does Q2 look like for you in the business?
How it always looks like, finding amazing founders. That's literally what I do every day, is finding amazing founders, amazing companies, amazing people to go work in those companies, Q2 looks like finding more people and sort of bringing them to light.
I like it.
I hope that's a satisfactory answer.
It is, as long as you're happy with it.
Oh, sure.
Thank you so much for that. I
Thank you,
really
Kamal.
appreciate the fact that you came to sit down with me, even though it feels like you've been running from me for a while, but thank you.
I have been.
Thank you so much for that. So our audience out there, we've spoken to someone that knows what the game is when it comes to investing in business, no, more like in people, leadership, quality in Africa. So I don't know, maybe you can reach out to her and she points you in the right direction.
You're making me sound so great, Kamal.
So keep on watching this space. We will put in information about the company out there, so you can always reach out and maybe learn a few things or two. So I've been your host, KD, and until next time, see you soon. Thanks so much.